Hi there. I'm Christine Dunbar from speechmodification.com, and this is my Smart American Accent training. Welcome to our Word of the Day series, where I've been taking your requests for words you'd like help to pronounce in American English. Today, we're going to talk about the word toward or towards, and we're going to look at the many different pronunciations, different correct pronunciations this word has. So I was pretty amazed when I was doing my research for this word on just how many different variants there are that people use for pronouncing towards. I'll talk about the ones that I think are the most common and the most easy. There are lots of ways we can get it wrong as well, or we can mispronounce this word. So let's look at what are the acceptable pronunciations for this word, how to break it down, and how to select which one is right for you. So first of all, one variant is that we say either toward or towards. So it can have the letter S or not in the spelling. It can have a Z or not. And as far as I can tell, there's no difference between the two. There's just two different ways that we say it. So one, for all of these variants, you can either do it just ending with a D or ending with a DZ sound. It's never going to be an S sound. It's always a DZ. So that's one thing that's consistent. I think the way I most commonly say this is by saying towards, or toward, with just an or diphthong and the D. So that's kind of strange because as the OWAR, all of that just says the or sound. To try and practice that way, you would just build from or, try or, tore, just like I tore the paper, toward, and towards. So you can either do with just a D or a Z. I would say it's probably easier to do just toward. So you might want to start there if the DZ gives you trouble. And that's the way I find myself most naturally saying. I gravitate toward that way of saying it. The next most common way that I say it, which is not necessarily the way everyone says it, would be to put the W in, but to keep the same pronunciation with the or. And that sounds more like toward, toward. So to build that one, what you would try is doing or, wore, like I wore the clothes, and then add your T, twore. Finally, toward or towards. So that leaves out that initial letter O and goes just right from the T to the war, towards. I also found in the dictionary that you can say this word not just as one syllable. So both of these, toward and toward, are just a one syllable pronunciation. But some people use two syllables, and they either say towards or towards. So let's break those two down. For towards, that one sounds really strange to me. I don't think I hear that very often. So I put these two up here. I think they're a little less common, but they're in the dictionary. They're acceptable variants. You probably hear the people around you are probably mostly settled in on one or the other of these pronunciations. So that's one way to choose which one to use. Listen around you, hear what most people tend to say. Also, choosing based on which one you can say smoothly and easily is also a good idea because you don't want to be stumbling on this word. So for towards, that would be kind of like the O, the word toe, and the word words, or word to word to word. I don't really like that one too much, I will admit. This one, I think if you're going to go with a two syllable variant, this is the one that I think is a little more natural sounding to me. And that is with the stress on the wards part. So it has kind of the same pronunciation as this with the or, war, ward. It just, instead of doing toward with no syllable, doing a TW blend, it just adds a little vowel schwa for the letter O. So it sounds like toward, toward. That one might be easiest because it's closest to how this word is actually spelled. You can think of the two just getting reduced to a t. And then you can think of ward, like the word war. Just know that it's an OR sound, even though we spell it with the letters AR. Just like the word war, for example, World War One. So for that one, you would try or, war, toward, toward your goal, toward the final count. So I kind of like this one too. I don't use it, but if you're going to do 2 syllables, I'd say that's the way to go. It might help you because it matches the spelling a little more closely. Or leaving that first syllable out and just doing toward, or leaving the W out and just doing toward. Toward the goal, toward the time. We're getting towards the time. Yeah, a lot of variants, a very complex pronunciation of this word. And I can see why this was requested. And I've talked about this with clients working with them before, that it doesn't, the typical American pronunciation is pretty unrelated to how it's spelled. So thinking about whatever pronunciation you settle in on, thinking about visualizing this alternate spelling to help you, and then also tuning into what's challenging about it. Is it the OR sound, the or? That's going to be in all of them except for this to word. All of them are going to have the or pronunciation. Okay, thank you for that request. If you have a request you'd like to see as part of the series, please feel free to leave that in the comments for this video or any of my videos, or you can attend our Friday live question and answer classes. Type your questions there in the chat and I'll answer them for you live. Channel members, you can ask your questions at any time throughout the week and I'll answer them for you in our Sunday class. You can come live on Sundays or watch the replay and get the answers for what you're looking for. If you're not yet a channel member or subscriber, I suggest checking that out. You can get some extra perks as a channel member. And of course, as a subscriber, you can turn on your notifications to see when I'm live or when I've uploaded new videos. I appreciate all the requests and suggestions. Thank you so much. Keep those coming. And I look forward to seeing you in upcoming classes. I'm Christine Dunbar from speechmodification.com. Remember, if you want to sound like a native speaker, you can do it. speechmodification.com. Bye, everyone. Hope to see you tomorrow.